And what coin order work? Wait, oh, there you go. Jared's here. So all the ones that are going to be here tonight are here already. So I'd like to call this meeting into order. We're going to start with roll call. Jimmy Tarlow. Jimmy? Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Thank you, Jared. So I'll start. Oh, thank you, Jimmy. Jared?
Jared's here.
Luke?
Luke's here.
Okay, and I'm here. Councilmember Buddha has did excuse herself for this meeting today. She did notify Mayor and Council that she won't be able to make it, and we'll catch up with her on anything related to the meeting. All right, so thank you so much. Vice Mayor, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. So the meeting became called to order at 7:02 p.m. and this is the Tuesday, September 6, 2022, 7 p.m. virtual meeting of the Mayor and Council. This is our first meeting back, and the first meeting for the 2022-2023 legislative year. We'll be moving on to reviewing of the agenda. So Vice Mayor, can you please review the agenda?
Yes. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Number 1, call to order. Number 2, review of the agenda. The Mayor and Council will review the agenda for the meeting, adding or deleting topics of interest or discussion. Number 3, Mayor and Council members' event announcements. Number 4, public comment. Excuse me. Number 5, Rainier Police Department's Explorers presentation and award. The Mayor and Council will have a presentation award for the Mount Rainier Police Department Explorers. Number 6, presentation of Mayoral Scholarship recipient. The Mayor will present the Mayoral Scholarship recipient to the Council. Sorry, guys, I have hiccups. Number 7, discussion and vote on appointment to the Scholarship Committee. The Mayor and Council will discuss and vote on appointments to the Scholarship Committee. Number 8, discussion and vote on the appointment to the Recreation Committee. The Mayor and Council will discuss and vote on appointments to the Recreation Committee. Number 9, presentation of minutes. Mayor and Council received the August 9th, the special legislative meeting, public hearing, June 1st, public hearing, legislative meeting, June 15th, public hearing, special legislative and work session from the city clerk. Number 10, discussion, second reading and adoption of Ordinance 9-2022, FY 2023 budget amendment. The Mayor and Council have a discussion, second reading and adoption of Ordinance 9-2022. Number 11, second reading and adoption of Resolution 3-2022, creating the Mount Rainier Youth Council, 10 minutes. Mayor and Council have the second reading and adoption of Resolution number 3-2022. Number 12, ARPA discussion and vote. The Mayor and Council have discussion and vote on Operation Arts Art Gallery project. Number 13, discussion and vote on extension of time, excuse me, for public hearing regarding traffic calming devices petitions. The Mayor and Council will discuss and vote on extending the time for a decision to be made on the traffic calming devices petitions. Number 14, vote on approval of minutes. The Mayor and Council vote on approving the minutes, June 7th, June 21st, July 21st, July 26th, and number 15, adjournment.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor. Council, is there anything you need to add, delete of this agenda or any order you need to change? Please let me know now. If not, we'll proceed to approve the agenda. So we're going to start with Ward 1. Jimmy?
No problem. No issues.
Luke?
No issues for me, Mayor. Thanks.
Perfect. Jared?
Yeah, are we still doing the Recreation Committee one, given that Valerie's not here?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah, she's going to put it in the agenda.
Okay, perfect. No changes then.
All right, perfect. So hearing there is no concerns about the agenda, nothing's been added or deleted. We'll proceed with approving the agenda as presented. So we're gonna vote on it, but can I have a vote to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
So moved by Jimmy Tarlo. Any discussion? Any objections? Abstentions? This agenda has been adopted unanimously. Okay, moving on to mayor and council members event announcements. We'll start with you, Jimmy, Luke, and Jared.
The only thing I'd like to announce is that the CERT committee is having its regular meeting this Monday at 7:30 p.m. At the Mount Rainier Police Department conference room at 7:30. If people want to get involved in learning how to both support our public safety and also help in emergency situations, it's a good place to get involved. Thank you, Mayor. That's it.
Thank you, Jimmy. Luke?
Thanks, Mayor. Just a few things. The native plant network that the Green Team is administering. There's going to be an event later in the month on towards the end of September. I think it's last Thursday in September. I think that might be September 29th to learn more about the native plant network in Mount Rainier. Green Team's going to have communications coming out about that soon. On November 12th, the Green Team is also organizing a cleanup day of a forested area on the south side of town. It's a very overgrown area, but the intent is to create a forested area that folks can walk through, similar to what we've done on the north side of town next to the food forest. So there's a lot of conversations about that event. You can come to a Green Team meeting if you'd like to attend that. The Green Team email address is greenteam@20712.org. And you can email the Green Team there if you're interested in either of those events. The Sierra Club's Maryland chapter is also having an event the last week in September. And this is sort of a bridging off our native plant network efforts here in the city to create a native plant and wildlife corridor across the state. Those meetings happen at the end of September as well. So just shoot me an email, lchesick@mountrainiermd.org if you're interested in attending. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Luke. Jared?
Yep, just wanted to, I know the city's done a great job of getting the word out on social media and also things on the, flyers going door to door, but we're having a public meeting on September 19th, 6:30 to 8 p.m. That's on Monday, so that's separate from the regular city council work session. And it's going to be a discussion with our the contractor we selected to study our streets and sidewalks. And it's going to be providing community feedback led by our consultant. So I know, traffic safety has been a big concern. Slowing traffic, pedestrian safety, bike safety has been a big concern of many folks. Really would love the opportunity if you're able to come out and provide your feedback at that session. And if not, reach out. You're able to reach out through the information provided on the flyer and on our website, or to us to provide that feedback via email or other manners as well. So, but I think that's it. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jared. Melissa, can you bring it down to the bottom of the agenda? So make sure can you hear me, Melissa? So move the agenda way to the bottom when they're listed to make sure we didn't miss anything. Okay, so here are a couple of the upcoming events. We have Public Safety Night, which is a very big night for the city of Mount Rainier. This is September 23rd from 9 to 5 p.m. And that'll be taking part of the Nature Center, the Children's Porch Fest, run by the Rent Committee. That'll be October 8th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. More information is coming through. Indigenous People Day, October 10th, City Hall will be closed. We are gonna have a Halloween parade, October 30. We also have the Latino Heritage Festival. It's gonna be on the 17th from 10 to 1, and go ahead and add that one right there. Thank you so much, Melissa. Jared did mention the community meeting for the Conference Street and Sidewalks. That's gonna be the 19th, it's virtual as well. The other one, Luke, let me have the date. It's regarding the call for artists on behalf of the Artist Commission, regarding some art for the art pose. The call last day was September 18th, Luke?
I'm not exactly sure what the last day was, somewhere around then.
Okay, so if we, I'll look it up right now. If not, we'll put it out, but please, reach out to the Arts Commission. The information is on our page. The other thing is the city of Rainier has released information about helping when it comes to paying back rent as well as utility. It is in our website. The applications are in English and Spanish. The information has already been, I was able to share them through the school, so they share it through their class dojo, and their community advisor and principals have them. Some of the churches also have them as well. So if you owe back rent, and the reason is because related to COVID, the city might be able to help you up to $1,000. And in saying that, tonight you guys heard about in the agenda, the scholarship committee will be appointed. So the scholarship will be coming out. So that way you guys be on the lookout for the scholarship and information. So that way you guys get to apply. The dates were shared back in June of last fiscal year, so June 2022. So we're gonna be continuing to share continuously, so that way you guys know that information. And we have been very busy this summer, although we take recess. So thank you to the whole city staff, as well as the council members for making themselves available, even through the summer, to be able to get, be able to get a lot of important meetings through the whole entire, basically through the whole entire summer. All right, so that is my feedback for right now. And look, if you left a day, let me know, okay? All right, so I will close the events and announcement for this time. I'm moving on to item number 4, public comments. Let me see. Public comments. So in this moment, we're gonna open the forum to public comment. Please type your name on the chat. If you're on social media, type your names and add your question. You will need to provide with your first and last name, your block number. If your house is 3701, as an example, you just have to say 3700 block of 36th or 35th Street, right? And you have 3 minutes to speak. If you're speaking on behalf of a group, you have 5 minutes, and every member of the group cedes their time to you to be able to take the floor. So at this time, please go ahead and write your name on the chat to let us know you have a comment. We usually also ask that keep it to matters that might not be in the agenda unless you cannot make it to the agenda once that item hits. So that way we also give you the floor, we'll give you the floor back, there. So anything on social media, Jared?
Nothing on Facebook.
Thank you. And I see nothing on the chat. So we're gonna give it a minute. Okay. About 30 more seconds. In the meantime, are the explorers in one of the screens? Okay. Melissa, the explorers still in the building?
No, Mayor, they left, but I see Chief is here, but not
Okay.
Officer Cruz is here.
All right, because they're next up. Okay. We're given time for public comment. So we are closing public comment and moving on to the next item, which is item number 5. Mount Rainier Police Department Explorers Presentations and Awards. So this afternoon, I got the pleasure to meet with the explorers. There's 31 of them of various ages that have been in the program, some of them for a few years, some of them recently new, and they have been volunteering with the city, not just through police department events, but also other events, including Mount Rainier Day. They are going to be volunteering also for Latino Heritage Month. 4 of them in particular actually went to a camp, and they represent a city very well. Melissa, do you have their names up on the screen?
No, I don't have it. Chief, do you have their names?
I
No.
have 4 of what the certificates are. Hold on. So there you go. Hold on. So one of them is Giovanni Davila. He is a sergeant, captain, I'm sorry, a captain with the Explorers. The other one is Selena Torres. She's a sergeant as well. You also have Jose Aguilar. He's a sergeant as well. And we have Jasmine Sapon, who is an Explorer Private First Class. So I'll tell you guys what the certificate read. Certificate recognition. The certificate is awarded to, and it said one of their names, in this case, Explorer Captain Giovanni Davila, for successfully completing the leadership and team building program, Explorers Adventure Camp, conducted from August 15 to August 19, 2022, learning valuable lessons on leadership, community service, and law enforcement. And it was presented today from myself and Chief and the whole entire city of Mount Rainier. So Chief, I'm ceding the floor to you. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. As Mayor, we had 4 explorers that traveled Haymarket, Virginia, as a part of Officer Cruz, as a part of the 2022 Explorers Adventure Camp. This camp is a 1-week leadership conference that taught the explorers valuable life lessons.
Chief, you're breaking up.
How about now? Is that any better?
Much
That's
better.
Chief.
Okay, let me talk a little slower. As I said earlier, I don't know if you caught that, I'll start over. Officer Cruz took a group of 4 of our explorers to the 2022 Explorers Adventure Camp. And this camp was a 1-week leadership conference that taught the explorers valuable life lessons in team building and learning to work with others. The leadership conference also pushes the explorers motto, which is not just to force explorers into a life of policing, but to teach them to become future leaders in our community. Our explorers right now, as Mayor said, they're participating in quite a few events. You'll meet many of them. I think we have 31, 32, as Mayor has said. They'll be here for Public Safety Night as well. Many of them helped us throughout the pandemic in our food distribution. So they were alongside of many of us during that time to help in our mission there. That's all I have.
Thank you so much, Chief. And we're probably gonna put a little camera on them later on. They were moving from City Hall into the police station because they're training today. And we're gonna put information over our social media as well to make sure if others would like to join, they're welcome to join the Explorers as well. So I think Chief is gonna mobilize to go get them. Or to move to where the camera's at. So I'm gonna ask you guys to let's put a pause on this one for right now. And if we could move on to the other one once Chief comes back, we'll ask him to join, okay? All right. Whew. Oh, there they are. So you see Officer Cruz right there, and you see the Explorers line up. Officer Cruz, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the Explorers. There's 31 of them at this point. Go ahead. We cannot hear you, Cruz. I think you have the mic off.
Okay.
There you go.
Hello, I'm Officer Cruz. The Explorer program is a leadership program, and this teaches the youth of the community just to be the future leaders of the cities around us and everything else. And it just teaches them discipline and to respect all their elders and the adults in school, outside of school, and they're all set to a certain standard when they're here and when they're not here. And right now, we as a total have about 32 explorers, and we continue to grow. And it's just great. All the support we get from the city is great. So we really appreciate it.
Cruz, can you move up the four of them, the one, the certificates today, please?
Jasmine, Theo, Jose, Lena, move up. Double time. Certificates.
Giovanni was ready. Great job, Giovanni.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay.
So there you go. And we're missing one right now on the screen, but yeah. Okay. There you go. Thank you so much. All right. Perfect. So we'll give you guys a big round of applause. And I told you guys will meet council. So you have Councilmember Luke Chesek, Councilmember Jimmy Tarlow, Councilmember Jared Stoffel on here. So Council, I'm gonna go ahead and cede you the floor if you want to say something. So we're gonna start with Jared.
I just wanted to thank you, everyone in the department for supporting this effort, and for everyone that's taking the time to participate in the Explorers program. I know it's a really great program, a really great opportunity to engage and get out in our community and to learn some great skills. So thank you everyone for your time and the time you've spent in service and for our city.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Jared. Luke.
I just wanted to echo those comments and say thank you, everyone, for stepping up. A service protecting the community is just a wonderful public service, and it's an important career that you should consider. Also want to let you all know that the City Council of Mount Rainier and the mayor are here. If you all need any help ever in navigating, all the life choices that are going to be coming your way over the next 5-10 years, as I'm sure MRPD will be available as a resource as well. So don't be afraid to use that. Life is all about connections. It's all about who you know. And between a lot of us, we know a lot of people and are happy to help out any way we can. Thank you for stepping up and doing your work. And thank you, MRPD, for all the work you do in helping this good program. Thank you.
Thank you. Jimmy?
Politicians are supposed to be lots of talk. We try and get point, and I think Luke and Jared said it all. I just want to echo it and thank you for participating and being involved. Thank you very much.
I think they heard you. Thank you so much, Jimmy. And I had a good talk with them today. We are going to be meeting at the end of the year, at the end of our fiscal year, and have a talk. I asked them to start thinking about what their goals are and what they look like, and figure out how they're working on accomplishment. And at the end of the year, we'll find out whether they accomplish their goals or not, or what they're aiming at as well, right? It's important to make sure we're goal oriented as well. The other thing so you guys heard a lot from me. So thank you guys so much for all your time, and we look forward to continue seeing you. The other piece of information that some people do know, and some of them know, Cruz, can you get on screen? Officer Cruz used to be an explorer back many years ago. Some of you guys remember Officer Cruz because he used to be our part of our parking enforcement team, but before he was parking enforcement, he was an explorer. And now he has gone to the academy. He has been with the city, and we're happy that he's an officer as well. And now he has become the mentor, the lead mentor for the explorers. So like I told the youth, Officer Cruz was one day in their shoes, right? And they could learn so much from him. He's a great role model, along with the other officers that are there. But it's definitely good to see somebody that was part of the Explorers program who now is an officer and is leading the youth to the next generation of leaders. So thank you, Cruz. So we're gonna give him a big applause to Cruz as well. There you go. He's very humble, but he's definitely has put a lot of hour for the city of Mount Rainier. Cruz was also one of our residents, and through the pandemic, Cruz drove with me Monday through Friday to deliver meals to people that were COVID positive or could not find resources. So I have a lot of care for Cruz stepping up and making sure he was there for the community when it was more needed. And I'm pretty sure those values are being passed down, not just from Cruz, from Chief and the whole entire Rainier team. Okay, so thank you guys, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. And if you see Luke, Jared, or Jimmy, or even Valerie, she's on the line right now, please say hi, and you heard Luke, it's about connections and networking, and we're here to support you fully, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right, go back to training. Okay. So thank you, Chief, as well, for your leadership and your vision and making sure that funding is put aside so we could run the program. And as you see, there's plenty of explorers and there's more room for more. So thank you, guys.
Great, thank you, ma'am.
All right, see, aren't they nice? Okay, perfect. So moving on to the next one, we have, I'll be presenting you guys to the Mayoral Scholarship recipient. She is on the line right now. During the Women's Mayoral Salute, CAMC awarded 4 to 5 mayors extra scholarship worth $1,000 and gave us a task to go out there and find one of our residents that was attending college for the first year and who could maximize this scholarship, representing not just the city, but the county as a whole. So we put a message out. We had various applications, and I am happy to announce, and she knows this already, that she's on the line right now. Amaris Renick was the Mayoral Scholarship recipient, which means the last year we gave 7 scholarships from the Rainier Youth Scholarship and 1 Mayoral Scholarship, a total of 8 scholarships. So Amaris, tell the council a little bit about you and what does this funding means to you?
Good evening, council members and attendees. I am Amaris Redrick. I am attending PG Community College right now. I am majoring in business administration, and this is my first year, as the mayor said. And this means a lot to me. And as earlier today, I was in class, so now I'm taking out the time to be here. But I am very thankful for everything, and I'm putting it to good work. So yeah.
All right, perfect. Jimmy?
Great work, and congratulations on everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Could we stop sharing the screen so we could actually see the speakers for a few minutes? Great.
Hi.
I think when you share the screen, you can't.
You have to switch the settings on your stuff. Yeah,
Well,
that way
yeah, okay. It's perfect now.
All right, perfect. Jared and then Luke.
Congratulations again. I'll, won't re-echo what Jimmy said, but congratulations and thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And Luke?
Yeah, congratulations. And I'll just reiterate the point about networking. If you want to be in businesses, there are lots of businesses here in Mount Rainier, and there are people we know in business. So if you want to be in a specific business, you can shoot all of us an email, council@mountrainiermd.org. My email address is lchesick@mountrainiermd.org. If you're interested in a type of business, you can say, I'd love to work in this type of business. And we can see if there's somebody in the neighborhood we know who works in that business. And that's usually how these things work. That's usually how you get a job doing what you want, is you talk to people who find out they know somebody who works there. And then you end up going and interning there and just working for nothing usually. And you just kind of have to do that. That's just the way the world works. And then they see, oh, she's willing to work for nothing. She's pretty good. Oh, I'll talk to her. Maybe the jobs will become available because people retire and people leave and then you get a job. So I know it feels daunting when you're young, but people are here to help. And that's just sort of how the world works. So if you're interested or you have a specific thing you want to get more involved in, just let us know.
Okay, thank you. And my essay was actually about being more green in the community. So
Awesome.
yes, yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in our community who work very high level jobs at green nonprofits, at government agencies like the Department of the Environment. A lot of people in the community, including Jarrett. Jarrett makes like Jarrett's day job is he makes electric vehicles more available to the public. So, you know, you should talk to Jarrett if you want to work in that business, because Jarrett will hire you. Jarrett, I'm telling you.
No, but the,
Okay.
yep.
All right, perfect. So Maris, thank you for joining us today. And like I told you originally, when we awarded you, I'll be checking in with you about 3 times a year to make sure you follow, you know, everything's fine. And next year will be our 5th year with the Rainier Youth Scholarship. You are invited as part of the group because I want to make sure you guys get to meet each other and start networking among each other as well, because you guys are a bunch of bright kids, young adults, and I want you guys to also know that you guys have the support of each other and get to know who the other awardees are as well. So please send a big hug to your mom too, who I'm very fond of. When I met her at the reception, she is all sorts of greatness, and she has sacrificed so much, and she's an outstanding mother. She gave a beautiful speech at the award ceremony. Okay. All right.
Okay,
And so I will share with you guys her essay. It was very inspiring, and we look forward to hearing more from you. And I'll continue to check in to make sure you keep that 3.6 GPA running as well. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good night, Amaris.
You too.
Okay. Yeah, her mom's speech made all of us cry, and so the other parents, because they were representatives from the other 4 cities. Oh man, the parents had us crying of how hard they worked and how great they were. So it was good. It was very inspiring to hear the sacrifice, and I think most of us could relate when it came to people who have made big sacrifices and put us in a position where we are now to help us out against the odds, but it was good. So, okay, have a good night, and I'll see you later. All right, so you guys already, this is not a vote, it was just a point of information. Okay, moving on to item number 7, discussion and vote on appointment to the scholarship committee. The mayor and council will discuss and vote on the appointment to the scholarship committee. So as I mentioned, this is going to be the beginning of the 5th year for the Mount Rainier Youth Scholarship. And every member of council and mayor select their appointee, and they're asked to come to the first meeting so we could officially appoint them. Melissa and I will work on orientation, all the great stuff that come along after. And they are the group that's in charge of interviewing and providing mayor and council feedback on who should be awarded the scholarship. So I will read their names. We have Jasmine White, Dave Ipley, Genesis Romero, Joe Mary Tablet, and Sierra Simone. And I believe every single one of them is here. So I'm gonna start with the ones that were already here. So it's a couple of them like, so Genesis, can you come on screen and say hello? So they get to meet you.
Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be appointed once again. I love the Youth Scholarship Committee. I love what it does. And I love getting to meet the people who apply. It's a really great thing that we're doing here. So I'm very honored to be a part of this again. Thanks.
So the other thing Genesis didn't mention is Genesis happened to be one of the first awardees of the Youth Scholarship for Mount Rainier. And what it feels like now, many blues are gone, right, Genesis? So she's going to be part of the committee. So we hear also the voice from at least one person that has received the scholarship as well. And she went on to graduate and continue to do great things. Thank you, Genesis. All right, so next we're gonna have Dave. Hi, Dave.
I don't know if Dave could make it unless he's Bill from Maryland.
He's like secretly hiding right there. All right. So I don't see Dave. Oh, I thought I saw him earlier. Okay, so that's fine. Let's move on to Sierra Sigmone. Hello, Sierra.
Good evening.
Where are you? Oh, I see you now. Hello,
Can you hear
Sierra.
me?
I could hear you now.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening. Tell us a little bit about you.
I'm a graduate from the University of Maryland, College Park, where I studied architecture and art as dual degrees. I'm currently working for an interior organizing and design company, and I'm studying for my master's in interior architecture and design.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And we also have Jasmine White on the line. Hi, Jasmine.
Good evening. Hi.
Hello. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Jasmine. I'm a New York. I graduated with my bachelor's in education prior college. And that's about it.
Thank you, Jasmine. Okay. Council, you have heard from most, David couldn't make it today, but you have heard from most of the scholarship committee. So I would like to ask for a call to vote to appoint them. And we'll open it up for discussion, okay? If you guys have any questions or not. So motion to, go ahead, Jimmy.
I just move that the appointees as presented should be appointed to the scholarship committee. Jasmine, Dave, Mrs. Jamari, and Sierra.
Second.
There's been a motion that's been probably moved and second. Any discussion? Any objection? Any abstention? Hearing none. Jasmine, Dave, Hennessy, Joe, Mary, and Sierra, you guys have officially been appointed to the scholarship committee. Melissa and I will follow up with you to go through a whole entire orientation. Council, do you guys have any questions or any statements to make? Let me know and I'll call upon you, okay? Council's so quiet today. First meeting, I see. All right, perfect. So thank you guys so much. You'll be receiving an email for the next virtual meeting and we'll go through all the information. So thank you for stepping up and we look forward to having another great year and wonderful recommendations as we had very great recommendations. So it's our 5th year. So we're looking forward to getting all the kids / adults, young adults together. And you guys will also be invited as part of the ceremony as well. All right, thank you guys so much. See, we're moving really quickly today. Good job, there you go. Discussion and vote on the appointment to the Recreation Committee. Mayor and Council will discuss and vote an appointment to the Recreation Committee. Can you put the names on the screen? Thank you so much. So we have Danielle Carve as chair. Danielle, you're here, correct?
Yes, I just couldn't change the name on my Zoom, so I'm sorry about that.
I was like, I thought I saw you.
That's my Dungeons and Dragons name. I'm sorry, I couldn't change it.
All right. So this is Danielle Carr, who's the master brains behind the wonderful events we have in the city. And they have a whole entire plan for this upcoming year as well. So Stephanie, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hello.
So you guys can say a little bit if you want. I've been representing you guys, but Stephanie's also been with the rec committee for a bit now, working on various events as well. Correct, and looking forward to a whole slate of events. All right, can you put the other screen, Melissa? That's the only bad thing when you guys move it. You guys move my agenda all over the place. Thank you, Melissa. Valerie? Valerie Zelinsky, are you here?
I don't think Valerie, Rajni, or Bob are here. I think so. Stephanie and I are the only two representing tonight.
Perfect. And they all three of them have been part of the rec committee. You could say a couple words as well, Danielle, is fine. They've been part of the committee for quite a bit of time as well, volunteering their time, effort, energy, and creation to make the various events happen. And we're very thankful for all the time you guys put together and bringing the community together, basically. Okay,
Awesome.
all right, perfect. Council, do I have a motion on the floor?
I'll make the motion, then I have a comment.
Go ahead.
I move to appoint these 5 people, Danielle, Stephanie, Valerie, Rajni, and Bob to the Recreation Committee.
It's been properly moved in second, and I'll go ahead and open up for discussion. Go ahead, Jimmy, you have the floor.
So I just, in general, our committees seem to be limited to a certain number of people, 5, and I was wondering if it'd be better to have more people to get appointed as opposed to only have 5, or do people, I'm asking Danielle, other people, is it good just to limit to 5 people in
No,
general, whether we should change some of our committees have, like, in the code or in an ordinance, a limitation. I'm always wondering that limitation is kind of restricts other people who might want to be involved. And I just want to ask Danielle or anybody else if you feel having more people in the committee would be helpful.
So Jimmy, just for clarification, this is just the board. The committee's open to as many people as they wanted to, and Danielle does a good job also inviting people to join. Go ahead, Danielle. That's
So
correct.
this is not the committee, this is a board of the committee, or
This is the
I mean,
board of
what
the
does
committee.
the ordinance actually say? Because I thought it says a committee.
It's the board of the Recreation Committee. Those are appointed, but any member of the city could join a meeting and participate in the discussion. But these 5 people are the ones that are assigned to vote and make the decision to, like, move the process to and work with our city manager to create events and stuff like that. But anybody that wants to volunteer for the committee is welcome to join. But these are people assigned to, run the agenda and be the board of it. And Danielle, you might say it. Go ahead, Danielle.
Yeah, Jimmy, thanks. That's a really great question. We have struggled since I took over the board, since I took over as chair of the committee, to get regular attendees and regular participants as far as a continuous basis. I've struggled to keep 5. We are really good at recruiting through the city that for people that are like program centric. Like, we have people that prefer the Children's Porch Fest. We have people that prefer the LGBTQ plus committee or event. We have some people that prefer the yard sale. Some prefer the Parade of Lights. So it's like, it's hard. And I mean, I learned this when I was on the CERT team. It's hard to get a large group of people and keep them engaged on a regular basis. I mean, on the CERT team, before I left the CERT team at the end of 2020, we could only get, for the 2.5 years leading up to that, we were good to get the 4 members of the board there on a regular monthly basis. So the fact that I've got 5, participants on the board is great. I've put out, invites to people to join the committee. Anybody that is a resident of Mount Rainier is welcome to come to any of our meetings. If they have a suggestion for an event, in fact, we have one coming up that we're going to talk about this month, which is a 5K. Anybody is welcome to come present, ideas to us and work with us. They're more than welcome to draw up an outline, help us with finding, all the details and help us with the volunteering. But these are the core 5 that are there on a regular basis.
Okay, thank you for answering my
You're
question.
welcome.
Luke?
Just thank you for all the work you've done. Danielle, I think that we were lucky to get like 2 people there when the recreation committee was.
We struggled for a quorum on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You were our liaison when I took over. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to thank you personally for all the work you've done in building it up, because it was a struggle there at first to just have a quorum and to do just a couple of things. So thank you, and thank you everyone else. I know the Recreation Committee has done so much good work over the last couple of years, and thank you everyone else for being involved and continuing with the group. Thanks.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank you, Luke. Jared?
Hey, Danielle and Steph, and I think that's everyone that's here on the committee. I just want to thank you for stepping up again. All our committees do great work. I feel like you all in particular punch above your weight, and just like in the volume of stuff you're doing and the breadth, and you know, I know organization's no small thing. I really want to thank you for, you know, the time you've contributed, the effort you've contributed, and the community building you've created through the events you're doing. It's really important to the city, and we are better for your the whole committee's contributions.
Thank you so much. And I will, on behalf, and I mean, Stephanie can speak for herself, but I know on behalf of Valerie, Rajni, and Bob, we thank you guys for recognizing. We don't do it for accolades. We do it because we're community centric and community, you know, focused and trying to build unity in the community. So it really feels good to know that our council recognizes and appreciates the work we do.
100%.
Thank you so much, Danielle. And I think you heard we're very happy with everything you guys doing. And I think that sometimes people don't realize how hard it is to get all these ideas together and put it into effort. And you guys do your best to create a program that's very diverse, to be able to not just be focused on the kids, but in families and navigate the different things, but to bring cheer, especially, I know you guys went through hoops through COVID to try to get some events going. And edit them as much as you could to make sure that something was still happening in the city. So we're definitely thank you for making sure you stood up to the challenge, and we look forward to continue working with you guys. Okay. And I was the other, after Luke, I was the other appointee, and now it's Valerie, the other liaison. It's a fun committee to be on. And now I'm backup. I'm support backup. All right, perfect. So there was the motion on the floor, second, the discussion's there. If there's some more discussion, I would like to know if there's any abstentions, objections. Hearing none, Danielle, Stephanie, Valerie, Rajni, and Bob have been appointed to our Recreation Committee for the City of Rainier. So congratulations, and thank you guys once again for all the great work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
And have a good night. Thank you for joining
us. And don't
us.
forget Children's Porch Fest, Saturday, October 4th.
I make the announcement, right? Thank you, Danielle. All right, perfect. Moving on to item number 9, presentation of minutes. The Mayor and Council will receive the minutes for August 9, 2022 special legislation meeting and public hearing. The special legislation meeting and public hearing, June 1st, 2021, public hearing and legislation meeting, and June 15, 2021, public hearing, special legislative and work session from the city clerk. So Melissa, anything to add? Melissa?
Hi, Mayor. No, just that the minutes were included in the package. So if any comments from Mayor or Council, just let me know if you have any addition, changes. Thank you.
All right, perfect. So Council, can you guys please make sure you let Melissa know ideally before Friday, so that way on our next legislative meeting, we get to vote on it. And our team has been very much on record, you know, like very like timely manner turning the minutes around. There is a location in the website that has the agenda, the minutes, the YouTube video all in one line for each of the meetings, so that way we keep track. And it's easier for the community to be able to follow through or go back to see any of it. So Melissa, thank you. Gabby, thank you as well. Jared as well. And Pink, the whole communication team, on making sure they get the 4 different aspects, the agenda, the minutes, the video, all together at once in one location. All right, so Council, she just presented them. Look, go ahead and look through them. And Melissa, for the next one, can you just do them in a line, because it's easier to read for me, okay? Like you did with the ones in the bottom, because I got it all set up. Thank you, Melissa. All right, moving on to old business. Discussion and second reading and adoption ordinance number 09, 2022 FY 2023 budget amendment number 1. Mayor and Council will have a discussion. The second reading adoption ordinance 09-2022. Can you put it on the screen, Melissa, please? Okay, so this is our first budget amendment for the FY 23 budget. And it's to authorize movement of funds. And the budget was adopted by Ordinance 04-2022 on May 2022. And it basically reads, has been deemed necessary to transfer funds between line items, meet current demands for goods and services, and therefore be it ordained that the Mayor and Council of the City of Rainier, Maryland, that the following transfer funds between appropriations shall be made to the fiscal year 2023 budget of the city of Mount Rainier. Can you move it up, please? Thank you so much. So from line item 5598 contingency, the amount of 2,500. Line item 5557, Mount Rainier Youth Council for the amount of 2,500. From line item 5598 contingency amount of 50,000 to line item 5556 cultural community events amount of 50,000. From line item 4506 speed camera violations, the amount for 8,181 with 76 cents to line item 5204 police supply and equipment for the amount of 8,181 with 76 cents. A whole total of $60,681 with 76 cents. Okay, move it up just a little bit. So this has been a fair reading of this. Thank you, Melissa. Move it, yeah. So I could hear, there you go. This has been a read through, what's in your read through of ordinance 09-2022 budget amendment number 1. So I'm opening up the floor to council. We'll start with Jared.
I don't have any comments.
Thank you, Jared. Luke?
Yeah, could you scroll down to the line items? Sorry, just so we can see them there. Thanks, that works. So I'm all good with the Mount Rainier Youth Council funding and the speed camera violations for police supplies. I do have a couple questions on the community events. You know, $50,000 is a lot of money for events. It's a little bit more than a 1 cent reduction in you know, property tax. So the finances is really kind of a secondary concern for me. Although I am concerned about how that could appear to folks. My other concern is just staff capacity to be able to support this. Just wondering if we, you know, to have that many events that cost that much money, it almost makes sense to have, you know, an event coordinator or something like that. I'm wondering if maybe staff can answer questions around staff capacity. Maybe Mr. Kamali could answer questions about whether staff has the capacity for these many events. And then I guess a question maybe for Mayor is what's the breakdown of sort of cost per event? Maybe I'll go to staff first. I don't know if there was any discussion with staff.
So just to make it clear, Luke, we do proclamations for all these events. So staff has to be here for all these events, regardless. And in the past, has been very hard to put the events together because we don't even have money in the budget to put a banner to be able to acknowledge the things that we have, that we're proclaiming, right? Or we have ordinance or resolutions for. When it comes to the event, most of the events you guys did receive, Melissa did send the whole list of the events that we had contemplated to do. So it's in your emails. Melissa, I don't know if you could pull it up. So this is not a top secret information at all. So the events happen on Saturday because we invite community members to come and join us for flag raising ceremonies, to proclaim X, Y, and Z, especially now that we have various groups in our community that have been, unfortunately, you know, attacked more severely, more open, including the African-American Latino nation community. So for us, it's very, and right now there's the whole entire attack of women. That's the whole entire part of it as well. So as a city, we do take a stand. We put flags, we go ahead and read proclamations. We invite people to come and join us at the plaza. This allows for at least a small program to be put together, which is usually like about a 3-hour program. Some of them, it may seem a lot, but it's like between bringing performers over to be able to do this, you need to be able to pay them fair wages, right? They work with us when it comes to prizes. We usually provide some kind of food, some kind of arts and some kind of art as well for the kids. That's the reason why it might seem a little bit more, but it's not that much more because we're inviting the whole community at large to come on. And some of these events continue to grow, like, you know, an example, right? The Spring Fest, right? Last year, and we were down to the last little eggs. Like when we had a lot of people that needed that extra, that we still needed, but our community has grown and more people are coming out to events. So therefore we need to account for that in the cost. So the events will continue to be happening whether we have this funding or not, but the different issue is like, we're still gonna be coming in, doing the proclamation, the flag ceremony, inviting people to come in, but it doesn't seem very celebratory for what we're doing. It's like having me, and usually like in this case, it's like Jared and Valerie standing there reading a proclamation and that's, or raising a flag with our team going on, right? So if we want to be inclusive and representative, we also feel like we need to be celebratory and making sure we create a scenario where our community could blend together and unite and learn history, culture, in order to continue to find the reasons to work together, right? That's something that we haven't done much of it. The rec committee does certain of it, but when it comes to cultural one, I think in the last 4 years, we have done a better job at doing resolutions, proclamations, and calling the community to join us to show unity and support. So that's part of it. So some of the costs goes associated with the events.
I just want to make sure I'm clear about two things. The significance, the importance of, you know, respecting every culture and making sure we celebrate every culture. That's very important. That's a very important thing. And just putting that aside, I have a question for Mr. Kamali. You know, the list that we got was a lot of Saturdays. And I just don't know that we expect staff to work so many Saturdays. That's a concern for me. Just somebody who has a family and expects to have weekends off. I'm just, Mr. Kamali, did you talk with the mayor about staff capacity for supporting these events? I think, you know, you can raise a flag on a weekday. You don't need to pull somebody into the city for 8 hours on a Saturday. I'm just wondering if there was discussion about capacity, Mr. Kamali, and if staff has capacity to take on this work.
Kamali, you're on mute.
All right, I'm sorry. So we did have a discussion, you know, I did have a meeting with the staff, especially with the clerk and communication person, MRTV and admin. They already told me that, you know, they cannot be available on Saturday because we have already 8 different, you know, time that we need to be here. And if we want to add another 7 to it, this is going to be 15 events. And then the Saturdays, staff, you know, are telling me they have family and they want to spend some time with the family. We can celebrate all of these events on the weekdays, you know, just raise the flag, whatever the mayor wants to do. We can do it on the regular weekdays. On Saturdays, you know, Melissa is here, MRTV is here, everybody's here. They can wait. They have talked to me and they said that they think it's too much on them. And since it's on the weekend, I'm not gonna ask them to be here, to be honest with you. You know, so.
Okay.
So
Okay.
does this mean that everything that's on Saturday gets canceled from now on, Luke? Because let me know if that's the case. I definitely would like to withdraw support for a lot of things for the city. The other thing is like, no, we are not inviting people to come in on a Wednesday because they can come because they're at work. That's the thing that you also need to take into account. And not only that, if we are asking, so who's going to be doing all this flag raising ceremonies and stuff like that if there's nobody in the community that can make it to this event because they're working? So take that into consideration as well. But go ahead, Jimmy, the floor is yours.
Well, I think there are two different issues here. So I mean, one is the issue of the money that's needed for this, which, you know, really isn't the, I mean, there's a kind of a hidden money in terms of staff time that's another issue. But I think we're really voting about for the $50,000 for the events, and if there's need for the $50,000, I'm fine with it. I think an additional issue we should be, you raise a question about staffing and how we pay for that, but I think we should kind of separate that out because the $50,000 doesn't really have to do anything with staff time. That's just a question of whether there's money needed for those activities. And then as a policy issue, maybe we should do that. So I would kind of separate that out a little bit. I have another question after we finish this discussion though.
And then, Mayor, I just have one more question. Do we have sort of a rough itemized estimate as to what the 50,000 would go to?
We have a breakdown and it depends on the event. I'll tell you this, for Latino Festival Heritage, quite a bit of money goes on entertainment, and it's not about 8 hours, Luke. It's about 3 hour. It's a 3 hour event.
Okay.
That's basically what it is. Most of the city events are about 4 hours or so. That's basically what they look like for next year. We're trying to team up with like another city with on it, but the reality is like they're post-COVID. A lot of the artists in performance, their price is a little bit different because they need to account for various things, right? So for Latino Heritage Festival that we're putting together, it's not like we're having like 10 artists coming in. Pink, are you on the line? Or Melissa, how many performers are coming in? Maybe 3?
Yes. Could I say something, Mayor?
Hold on one second, Melissa. This is gonna go after council has the discussion.
Okay.
So there's only 3. We're gonna be offering some food. We're gonna be offering some art supplies as well for the kids to be able to do that. So it is it's a small amount of hours and it's a well-rounded event. And the reality is like if all we're doing is raising a flag just so we could talk to each other, and I mean like me and like Jared and Valerie and Jamie who has showed up to this event, right? I mean, what's the purpose of us just like, might as well just like put the flag and walk away and act like this is not important, right? So it's not a matter of like do it during the weekend. That's the reason why we do it during the weekend. So that way the community could come in and show support. And usually they come in and they talk to each other and stuff like that, right? But quite a few of the residents are, have said that they will appreciate like something else done and not just like a reading and a flag and everybody goes home. For the veterans events, we usually have a flag raising, we recognize them, we have food for them, right? They get to talk, they get to, have some camaraderie among each other. So that's the kind of setting they wish they also had for the other events.
Could we just get that, just a rough cost breakdown of the 50 grand? I feel a little uncomfortable voting for it without knowing exactly what the money's going towards. And again, all the things the comments you made, sorry to say the 8 hours a day comment, it's only 3 hours, that's fine. I just feel like I don't know what the $50,000 is for. And I feel like I don't know how much staff time it's going to take. And I just need to know those things.
Jared?
Sorry, were you referring to Jared from our MRTV or me?
Jared, double T.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm in support of us doing, and I've said this to you, Selena, I'm really in support of us doing additional community events and opportunities. I know the expectations, I think, in terms of community engagement recognition of, are certainly higher than they used to be. So I don't have, concerns around that because it's things that folks are expecting us to do. The thing I'd kind of hope is with, setting aside funding, we'd be able to, if we are doing an event that's not on a weekday, and I understand the challenges, engagement challenges with that. that we'd be able to lean with that amount of funding, be able to lean on external organizers or folks pulling stuff together and not on staff. So I think that was kind of my, that was kind of my understanding of the funding being set aside. So, I mean, I given all the day-to-day operating responsibilities that staff has, I'm a little concerned about the asks in terms of time on top, because it is stuff on it, it is outside. I understand a lot of folks are at work during the day, but we're going to have, we will be putting demands on staff outside as well.
All right, Jamie, go ahead.
Well, I don't have a problem with the $50,000. I mean, Luke has raised a concern. I think it'd be helpful if we maybe, unless there's a specific thing that has to be done before the next meeting, that we specifically see if we get a breakdown of just how much for the different events and what it involves. So Luke feels comfortable about moving ahead with it, unless there's a specific need to allocate money between here and the next meeting. I mean, Luke has raised a concern. Well, I don't have a problem with it. I just think, it'd be best for us to have a better breakdown, for the, maybe vote on it after we see a breakdown.
That's not a problem, but I'll make sure that moving forward, every single event has the same exact of information. Okay? Because they cannot just be asked for one side of events.
No one was saying that.
But I want to make sure that's clear, right? If we're gonna make sure we need to ask staff every time whether they're available to make it or not, that goes for everybody as long as
this has nothing to do with staff. This is two separate issues. Staffing is another issue. This is just a question of the $50,000 and what it's being used for.
Mm-hmm. That's not a problem. Just want to make sure it's clear if that's our expectations moving forward. Melissa, you have something to add. Do you have the breakdown for this event, for the Latino Heritage event, Melissa?
No, Mayor, I don't have the breakdown. I think that's something you were working on. I just have the list of events that you give me that's gonna fall under the culture event. So,
okay, Council, the time has run out on this item. So you guys get to decide what you guys want to do.
I'd like to move the table to the next meeting when we can get a kind of more, just a better thing about events and how much for each event.
So be aware that we might have to cancel Latino. You know what? I'll pay for the Latino Heritage Month.
Mayor, I asked you specifically if there was an event between now and the next meeting that we had the appropriate money for. If there is one, we should do that.
Well, you have the Latino Heritage Day and you have the Indigenous Peoples Day coming in. So you guys.
So how much money for that?
We have said we wanted 5,000 for that event to be able to cover everything. We need to, obviously it says up to 5,000, but try to stay as much under as we can. But the realistic is like, we are paying people for, and we're not even paying people for to perform 3 performers to perform an hour each. It's a lot less. Had we done an hour each, it would be a lot more money.
So why don't we just appropriate that money, which is $5,000 for the Latino event, and table the other ones until it's a fuller thing? No one's trying to say not to do that. Just, that's, I mean, I would say that makes sense. Let's just, no one's saying we shouldn't do that. Just, if that's something between now and next meeting, let's appropriate the money for that.
Okay.
So I would like to amend it for now, maybe make it concrete that we appropriate $5,000 a number, Mayor, you think?
Yes.
$5,000 for and why don't we name the event?
Latino Heritage
the Latino Heritage event, and take the $5,000 out of the contingency and table the other money just until the next meeting, and just have a specific amount for each meeting and we can vote on it.
That works, but remember this budget amendment is 3 pieces. So if you are you tabling the whole amendment, or are you just editing that one portion?
Just editing the second one, which is from line item 5598 contingency amount, and I would say $5,000 to line item Latino Heritage Event amount $5,000, and the other $45,000 will table until the next meeting where we get more details.
Sure. There's a motion on the floor.
Seconded.
Thank you so much, Sherrod. It's properly moved in second. Any more discussion on this item?
Yeah, I just have one question for the, it's a technical question for the city manager. I don't think the treasurer is there. The third item talks about transferring money from to the police, but it's from a revenue number. So can you transfer from revenue? Or, you know, I mean, I'm supportive of the thing. I just was wondering a technical question. Isn't 506 a revenue line item?
Yes, it is.
Can you transfer, or can you, I mean, maybe we're talking about appropriating money out of that, from that. I'm not sure what that entails. Usually, you know, you have revenue and you have expenses, and we transfer from one expense to another expense. But I'm for this. Maybe in the future, why don't you check on that? Okay. Otherwise, I'd say we move ahead. So just a question, maybe in the future, an issue or technical issue you might want to raise with the finance director. But I would like to move this as amended.
I would.
Thank you, Jimmy. It's been probably moved and second. Any discussion?
I'd like to further amend it because I think Jimmy's right. You can't move a revenue line item to an expense line item. So was line item 4506 speed camera violations, was that a revenue line item?
It is a revenue line item.
So I would just amend it to move the 8,181.76 from contingency to the police supplies and equipment.
So I not as chief, do you guys have, or Kamali, do you guys have a different line item that could come from instead of contingency? Because we need to be able to spend the speed camera money, and I want to make sure that we don't get ourselves in a position where we're running out of things to spend it on.
Right. I mean, the speed camera money that we get should be put in a special category where I don't know where it is in the budget.
It is in the revenue with the other revenues that we get. There is a line item 4506 in the budget.
So Luke, I would suggest that we leave it as is, and maybe in the future we could get a clarification about how we do that between, because I'm not sure you can really do from a revenue, but we do it for now, and maybe we can get it clarified later. Just to move it along, because I'm not sure we have the answer.
So Kamali, can you answer this question? Maybe this will help. I know there's revenue that were collected already, not projected, but collected already from the speed camera from last year that carried through a different account. Can that revenue come out of that account? So be money that we already have, not revenue that potentially might be coming.
Mayor, I just have to look into it because, you know, 4506 is the revenue, the speed camera in FY23. And Chief was having a contract for $21,000. So we were short for $8,000, and we tried to remove the money from the speed camera to this line item. But I do appreciate if you give me a chance to look at it and, you know, get it ready for next time. There is no rush on that item. You know, we can wait.
So I would then amend it and just do items, the first two items, and hold off. So now I'm further amending it, if that's all right, from line first one, $2,500. The second one is $5,000, and we'll hold off on the third one for now.
Okay, Jimmy. Jared, since you seconded, do you accept his amendment?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So, Melissa, you got what the motion is, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, so there's been an amendment to the motion. Jimmy, and it's been second. Any discussion? Any objection? Any abstention? The items pass. and Kamali figure out with legal if there's anything else we need to do, okay?
Sure, will do.
Thank you so much. All right, moving on to the next item. Second reading of adoption of Resolution 03-2022, creating the Mount Rainier Youth Council. The Mayor and Council will have the second reading of adoption of Resolution number 03-2022. We have discussed this in, I think, at least 2 work sessions, one legislative session, and it's here once again. And it's the creation of the Youth Council. Can you go down to the things that we edited out? In the original draft, we had put when the applications needed to go out. We removed that because obviously we're not going to make the June cutoff. If not, we're not going to have a committee this year. And we also felt that this also allows for the clerk to put the call out without having to be tied up to a specific month. That sometimes does not work, as we are overwhelmed with budget and sometimes elections. So she'll be able to put that call out a little bit sooner in order to be able to get the team together, one for this year, but also like for the upcoming years. So that's the only change, but it's like you see right there, it's like grades from 7 to 12, and the chairperson needs to be 11 or 12th grade, and they could serve 1 year consecutive. Their role is to basically come out with ideas, suggestions, and advise the Mayor and Council. Also, part of their duty will also be next May to join us for the swearing-in ceremony, so that way they could be introduced to the new council and work with us on advice, but also like put that call out and let us know what's of interest and where they see certain things. So it'll be a very advisory board, and it's overall a good idea. The great thing is now the county executive is also doing one. So we are going to have one at a county level, different grade levels. And so they could also collaborate with that collective. The school board does have a youth representative that was elected to a position. So I have talked to them briefly. I want them to meet them so that way they could also be aware what the school board is doing and connect with other youth that have leadership positions, as well as our explorers in building a whole entire youth coalition of kids that are able to advise, but also be outspoken on things that they need and want, and create their own future. All right, so I'm gonna open up the floor, and it'll take 5 youth that will be appointing once this resolution passed, and we'll work through all the documents with legal as well beyond that. All right, so I'm gonna open up the floor. Go ahead, Jimmy.
It's a great initiative, Mayor. Thank you for doing it. This is something the city needs, and I look forward to getting people appointed.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Luke.
Mayor, thank you so much for doing this. Just contributes to all the work you do at really trying to engage everyone in our city, from the youth scholarship program to the youth council. You just do a ton, and this is just another thing, and I just appreciate it and look forward to supporting it. Thanks.
Thank you, Luke. Jared?
Yeah, no, again, I think this is a great initiative. I'm really happy you're doing it. And, there's we're a large city, we're a small city with sometimes bifurcated communities, things like the scholarship committee and, and things like this do things to kind of help bridge gaps in different demographic groups and different, houses and apartments, and help bring folks together across, across lines that, sometimes they bring groups together sometimes when they're further apart. So I just, I want to especially thank you for your leadership and your focus with an effort like with this. I see it be really important. Kind of what Luke was kind of alluding to earlier. This helps build a sense of sort of a civic engagement and involvement, and really helps kind of empower a lot. Will help empower a lot of the youth in our city. So I just wanted to make that note and that observation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jared. Can I call the question? Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Seconded, sorry.
Is
That's
there,
fine. Can you move the
did we
agenda
read
up?
the motion?
Can you move the agenda up, Melissa? So I guess the motion will be
Oh.
like the approval of resolution 03-22, creating the Mayoral Youth Council. So Jamie, you so moved it. Jared, you seconded. Are you guys fine with that?
I am.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Any discussion? Any objection? Any abstentions? Hearing none, resolution 03-2022 has passed, creating the youth, Mount Rainier Youth Council. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay, moving on to item number 12, ARPA discussion and vote number 19. The Mayor and Council will have a discussion and vote on Operation Arts Art Gallery project. This has been discussed in at least 2 work sessions, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3. And Operation Arts went out and helped us to be able to provide funding for us. The original cost was $10,000, and they have managed to have enough funding to pay for about half of the cost of the project. I know when we originally envisioned it, I was thinking of like one of the boxes to be equivalent of like the food pantry, you know, that's very symbolic to the reading nooks, right? The small libraries on it, a combination of both, so that we're able to provide to the community the things that we need, have a place for them to admire art, be able to grab some books, but also grab some things that they might need. And it's very community based. We have a couple of little libraries and a few pantries around the city. They are scattered around, not that many of them, but this definitely will be able to marry a little bit of the both things that we need. And at the same time, you know, highlight who we are as a city, which is like very in tune with the arts. So I will leave it as that and I'll open up the floor. Luke.
No, I think this is just a worthy project. This is the one we've been briefed on a few times. Did they speak last, or was that in June when they last spoke to us, or was that in July, Selena?
In the summer, June and July.
June and July. Yeah. So I'm supportive of it. That's it.
Jimmy?
I have no additional comments.
Jared?
Yep, likewise, additional comments. It's a great effort.
All right. Perfect. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Move to approve Operation Arts Art Gallery funding from the ARPA funds.
How much was it, by the way? Did we just say that?
I believe it should be more. Go ahead, Kamali.
I believe it's something 125, 126.
No, it's
if I'm
about
not
4,000.
mistaken.
It's about 4,000 because it was 10 and they were able to get grants from the Arts and Humanity, if I'm not mistaken, and then they went for another grant. So more or less, we're going to be paying about half. So I think it's up to like $4,000 about that.
I think we need a specific number if we're going to approve something now.
So can we make it up to 5,000 so that we're secure and Kamali will be able to talk? Kamali, you have the contract, correct? It was part of the package that was given to everybody?
Not right now, Mayor. I'm sorry.
How about if we move $5,000, Mayor? Is that enough? And if we have to,
that would be enough. And then
if we have to amend it later, we can do that.
Yeah.
So I move that we appropriate $5,000 out of ARPA for the Operation Art Gallery project. Do you have, is that the right name? It sounds Operation Arts Art.
It's because it's Operation Arts Art Gallery.
Okay.
So it's like Operation Arts Galleries. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Jimmy. Jared, did you second it or who seconded?
Seconded.
Okay, it's been probably moved and second. Any discussion? Any abstentions? Any objections? All right, so up to $5,000 has been voted from mayor and council towards operations art project from the ARPA funding. And Luke, can you make sure you update the ARPA document reflecting the $5,000?
Yeah, give me a minute. I'm having a little computer problems here, so that's why I can't pull it up. But I will do
That's
that.
fine.
Thank you.
We had about 600,000, a little bit over 600,000, I believe. So 5,000 should be fine. All right. So moving on to number 13, discussion and vote on an extension of time for the public hearing regarding traffic calming devices petition. The mayor and council discussed on a vote on extending the time for a decision to be made on the traffic calming device petition. Jimmy?
So we've had an extensive discussion, and I think we're going in the right direction about excuse me, about moving ahead with the with the traffic study. But our code actually specifically says that after public hearing, I can share the screen, but says we should vote on either make a decision or extending the timeline. So we can, and that's what the code says, and one of our residents, pointed out the code to us. So I would suggest that we actually move to, we can either say no about the decision because of why we're doing this, or we could ask that we extended the deadline on these until after we receive the report from the tool design people. I mean, we could keep the public hearing open indefinitely, but I think that's the wrong way to do it. We should just let people know that because of the traffic study that the council decided to hold these specific proposals open and, until we actually get the recommendations from the tool design people.
Thank you, Jimmy. So I'm opening the floor for discussion. I think I'm not, and I'll say something, right? I don't think we need to leave it open indefinitely. I think we need to shut it down, right? Even if it's like until this Friday or or drive people towards the discussion, for the traffic control, right? That's gonna happen the 19th. So this is not like up in the future, it's on the 19th, it's on real time. But yeah, thank you so much for the summary. Okay, Jared, you're next.
Yep. No, I agree. And just having worked in transportation planning at a local level, we have feedback and resident interest in traffic calming their street, which is an important feed into the discussion and the study that we're going to do that's going to result ultimately in a more well thought out, less haphazard, and more comprehensive approach to traffic safety. So, I look at their feedback and their requests as it feeds into the traffic study, is that, we're going to end up with something better, both in the plan we put together and in the and in the projects that we can then take the plan and go seek funding for, to really comprehensively improve safety in our city, and kind of, instead of just doing this kind of one-off, small dollar fix, and then we're not going to revisit it again. So fully agree on kind of just pushing this, taking this discussion, pushing it towards the September meeting, and certainly providing that resident input and requests to the as a feed in to the study itself.
Thank you, Jared. Luke.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So I just want to say to residents on this, I want to say that, for my intents and purposes, I support traffic calming at these locations. I very much do. My wife is yelling at me to get traffic calming at the Taylor and 31st Street sign. So I very much support them. But the issue that Jarrett brought up is we're about to do this whole traffic redesign, and something that residents have come to me on, and I think it's a valid point, is don't just do traffic calming device in one location. Look at how that affects traffic elsewhere, because we need traffic calming at Taylor and 31st. How is that going to affect traffic elsewhere? And do we need traffic calming in multiple locations? Once we go through this few month process to figure out where all this traffic calming should go, and the petitions that residents signed have gone already to Tool Design, to the consultant, so they know where they want, where you want these. Once that gets done, we'll have the opportunity to start funding these projects. And I'll just speak for myself. I'm going to prioritize the projects that residents have said they want. And first and foremost are the ones that residents have already brought to us. So while I'm going to, vote to extend the time to respond to the hearing, it's sort of parliamentarian is maybe the way to put it best, because I support the traffic calming devices. It's just making sure we do it right. Thanks. And then I do have, one other question. Maybe Mr. Kamali, we can respond to the residents who submitted their letter after this meeting, letting them know what we did and stuff. Or maybe we can work on that together. I can draft an email for you to send to them or something like that.
So-
But that might be my recommendation.
I don't think of this, it's just a recommendation. I think it's a direct ask to do. We need to send this out to them. The last communication we had, city manager sent that out, letting them know like where we're heading. They did send back an information letting us know that we needed to take a decision. And our communication back is, so it won't be even a suggestion, it's like a mandate to do it. Go back and let them know that we took a decision today to extend them to the public hearing and give them the dates of the public hearing. The other thing is like, I'm hearing a lot of people who are very upset about bumps. They're afraid that we're going to turn the city into nothing but bumps from one bump to the other. And that ultimately the ones that are going to suffer are their own residents as we're tearing up our cars. That it creates less space for us to be able to, like for the fire department, for the ambulances to go through, because we're going to be so bump happy, right? And so they definitely want us to look into what other alternatives could take place as bumps out, like rain gardens and different things. And also take consideration that some of these things that we're asking to do are going to eliminate some parking because as you do bumps out or you put bumps, some people feel like people don't like to park on top of them. So it's a lot of things to think about, but ultimately we want to make sure we focus on things that we could do, because the failure of the petition is you sign the petition, you turn it in, right? But the reality is like people are not coming to do one speed bump. Mr. Kamali had made a reference last time that there's four and people were not coming, they're not coming to do 4. They want to do a bulk because it's very, it's better cost effective. They're very expensive. I'm not talking about they're charging $5 more. Mr. Kamali, correct? They're charging significantly amount more money to try to come. And and not only that, so it's a matter of like, okay, it's $1,000 for those things are more than $4,000 as they are, and even higher. But the thing is like the other companies don't even want to come because there's so few of them. So the study will allow us to do what we did last time, right? Figure out in what locations are needed, do an overall plan, put in the budget like we did with the sidewalks where we were putting 3%. So every year we knew 3% was going on the budget, some money from the speed camera laws to make it from 3 to 5, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a synchronized plan to make sure that you knew when your street, based on our priorities are needed, were going to happen. The other thing is like, I think, I live in front of a park, so I know speeding here as well, right? At the same time, a holistic approach will also showcase what other places need the extra help so that we go in order of like where it's more needed. We do have a lot of, we have senior buildings, we have areas where we have people with disabilities, we have school spaces, right? And some of them are a little more sensitive than others as well. So that they will take that all into account. The other question that was asked was, do they have any knowledge with ADA? They do. They have like work in various cities. I did share when somebody asked me on Facebook, Sarah did ask me on Facebook, I did share the link to Thule Design. And if anybody wants, I'll be happy to share it to them, but they have done projects locally in the state. And also when they were working on our sidewalks, they make sure that to let us know what sidewalks needed to be ADA compliance in order for it to happen. So there is a lot of involvement and push from council and also the staff, Mr. Kamali as well, as our city manager, to make sure that we have ADA compliance, the right measurements, that people could go in and we're able to walk and doing that. But saying that, it is the holistic approach we are working on. I think we've done that with a lot of our projects, and the walkable approach does not help. And I think doing this whole study will be able to help us and not move the problem from one to the other, but realistically see what it looks like and what the flow is about. And I will tell you this, I was hearing people saying that our officers do not cite, or they were surprised when officers cite on parking meters. Officers do cite on the parking meters. So when you're parking on the meters, make sure you put your money, because you will be cited. And the other thing is, they are putting citations as well for speeding, running stop signs, and all of the above. They give people warnings, as well, but citations are going out. And I think as the staff chief here. So I'm gonna add 2 more minutes to the clock. Is that okay, council? So we could hear chief and then we could make a decision to vote.
So, Mayor,
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
I just, to make it simple, I'd like to make a motion that the mayor and council have decided to hold off decisions on the petitions until after the result of the tool design study. That's just simply that we decided to hold off until after that time.
If that's your motion, that's fine, but we run out of time.
I can't hear you, Mayor. I think something happened with your mic.
I said the clerk has alerted us that we run out of time. That's the reason I was asking for 2 minutes for you guys to make the motion during the time frame. So can you guys make a motion to extend at least for 2 minutes?
Move to extend it for 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? I'll second it. All right, thank you. So we're probably moving second. Discussion, abstention. Don't want it? No? Okay, so we extended for 3 minutes. All right, so there is a motion on the floor. Mayor and Council extending the time for public hearing regarding traffic.
No, actually, my motion is a little different. My motion says we've decided that we're going to put off making a decision until after we get the tools.
Which is March next year.
Mayor and Council has there's a motion on the floor that says that mayor and council have decided to hold on decisions until after the traffic calming study comes out. All right. There's a motion on the floor. Any second?
Second.
Is there probably moving second? Discussion. So I do want chief to go on record saying that they are because people are in the assumption that people are not getting tickets, and they are. So Chief, can you
Mayor, your mic has gone off a little bit.
I'm sorry, I'm moving around. My apology. Chief, can you go on? Can you please talk to the residents and let them know the citations are being put for parking as well as people speeding and running stop signs?
Yes, ma'am, Mayor, that is correct. Motors are being cited for the various parking violations as well as the traffic violations. One of the things that we've seen in the troubled areas are that there are pretty much 3 E's to traffic calming. One is enforcement. That's what our officers are doing. Another is education. We're also doing that as far as our warnings. And the third, which you're looking at now, is the engineering. So all 3 of those working together is what's going to help us.
Thank you so much. Council, if there's no other discussion, I'd like to call for a vote. Hearing none, is there any objections? Abstentions? Hearing none, is the vote is unanimous. Thank you. So vote on approval of minutes. The mayor and council vote on approving the minutes for June 7 legislative meeting, June 21st special legislative meeting work session, July 21st, 2022 special legislative meeting and public hearing, July 26th special legislation meeting. These minutes were presented in our last meeting, correct, Melissa? And you guys, the mayor and council was asked to provide any feedback to the clerk, and any feedback that's been provided has been made. So council, can I have a motion in the floor to approve? And if there's anything else you see, you have ideally until Friday to make anything.
So moved.
If you're properly moved,
Second.
as you're probably moving second to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Objections? Abstentions? Hearing none, the minutes that were read have been approved. Thank you, Melissa. All right, so moving on to item number 15, adjournment.
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Objections? Abstentions? Hearing none, this meeting has come to an end at 8:42 p.m. Okay, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys at the September 19 graphic study, and also at our work session on the third Tuesday of the month. And to the parents and teachers, administration, welcome back to school after Labor Day.
And thank you, staff and Jared, and for having the meeting to work well.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, staff. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Melissa. Bye.